In the early 2010s, Uber wasn't just a startup, it was a revolution. It promised to liberate transportation, destroy monopolies, and make the world move at the touch of a button. Investors poured billions into the rocket ship led by its charismatic and combative co-founder Travis Kalanick. By 2015, Uber was the most valuable private company in the world, but while the app was flawlessly connecting millions of rides, the culture inside Uber's headquarters in San Francisco was a house on fire. It was a place of hustle taken to a pathological extreme, a world where winning was everything and rules, both legal and ethical, were seen as obstacles to be crushed. Today, we are deconstructing the Uber bro culture. We're going inside the toxic HR failure that nearly destroyed a decacorn. This is the high price of growth without a soul. To understand Uber's downfall, we have to look at its DNA. Travis Kalanick didn't just build a company, he built a cult of a greasy. He established 14 core values that sounded like they came from a gladiator manual, values like principled confrontation and meritocracy. On paper, these sound like high-performance ideals, but in the hallways of Uber, they were used as weapons. Principled confrontation became an excuse for managers to publicly humiliate their subordinates. Meritocracy meant that if you were a top performer, meaning you brought in high numbers, you were untouchable. You could harass, bully, and break every HR rule in the book, and the company would look the other way. This created a culture of brilliant jerks. In the race for growth, Uber forgot a fundamental law of HR. If you don't fire your high-performing assholes, they will eventually fire your company. The world finally saw the rot in February 2017. An engineer named Susan Fowler published a blog post that sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley. She described a world of systemic sexual harassment and an HR department that was worse than useless. When she reported her manager for harassment, HR admitted he was guilty, but refused to punish him because he was a top performer. They told Susan she was the problem for reporting him. This was the moment the bro culture mask fell off. The public realized that Uber wasn't just a tech innovator, it was a toxic battlefield. HR had become a protection racket for the elite. This is a critical lesson for every leader. The culture of your company is defined by the worst behavior you are willing to tolerate. By tolerating predators because they were smart, Uber's leadership had signed their own death warrant. But the toxicity didn't stop at the office door, it was baked into the software. Uber developed a secret tool called Greyball. Its purpose? To identify and deceive government officials who were trying to regulate the app. When a regulator opened the app, Uber would show them ghost cars, or simply refuse the ride. This wasn't just disruptive, it was a culture of institutionalized deception. Kalanick's philosophy was that Uber was at war with everyone, regulators, taxi drivers, and even their own drivers. This war footing created a siege mentality within the company. Employees felt they were above the law, but as any HR expert will tell you, a culture that is trained to lie to the outside world will eventually start lying to itself. Internal reports were faked, and internal competition became so fierce that teams were actively sabotaging each other to get ahead. By mid-2017, the investors had seen enough. The rocket ship was heading for a crash. In a dramatic boardroom coup, Kalanick was forced to resign. Uber hired Eric Holder to conduct an independent investigation, which led to the firing of over 20 employees and a total overhaul of the 14 values. The new CEO, Dara Khosrow-Shahi, arrived with a simple but radical new mission. We do the right thing. Period. He had to dismantle the bro culture brick by brick, but fixing a toxic culture is far harder than building one. Even years later, Uber still struggles with the ghosts of its past. It serves as a $60 billion warning to the tech world. Aggression can get you to the top, but only integrity can keep you there. Growth is a vanity metric. Culture is a sanity metric. The ultimate insight from the rise and fall of Uber is this: culture is not a soft skill, it is a hard asset. If you build your company on a foundation of winning at all costs, eventually the cost will be the company itself. Many founders believe that HR and culture can wait until after they've reached $1 billion valuation. Uber proves that by then, it's already too late. You don't build a business, you build a team, and that team builds the business. Is your culture a rocket ship or a ticking time bomb? I'm HR Insight, and if you're ready to deconstruct more corporate legends, hit that subscribe button. Join our global community as we build better workplaces, one story at a time. See you in the next deep dive.